Hi, I'm Don Moores, and welcome to Montgomery Week in Review. The League of Women Voters of Maryland is active in Annapolis during this session of the legislature as they work to support issues that are before the General Assembly. Nancy Soreng of the League of Women Voters is here to tell us all about the issues that she and the League are working on and how the League is progressing during this session. The Sentinel has created a website to bring all kinds of news to interested residents throughout Montgomery County. Brian Karem, the editor of the newspaper, is here to tell us about mocovox.com and what you can expect when you go to the site. Also, other exciting news about the Sentinel. There is news about the ever-popular used bookstores that are run by the Friends of the Library, as well as other news related to this wonderful, wonderful organization. Ari Brooks, the executive director of the Friends of the Library, is here to give us details, as well as to invite all of us to participate in the second year of a very special spelling bee. McHale, the Montgomery Coalition for Adult English Literacy, has been working to support its partners in Gaithersburg, Wheaton, and throughout Montgomery County. Kathy Stevens, the executive director of McHale, has this story, as well as her own invitation about McHale's special spelling bee, in addition to the one sponsored by the Friends of the Library. This is Spelling Bee Today. Nice to have you here, Kathy.
You.
Nancy
Hi.
Soreng, great to have you back. It's
Thank
been a
you.
while.
Thank you. Yes, I've been busy going to Annapolis on a
Now,
regular basis.
Annapolis, especially in an election year, has a reputation of being a rather frustrating place to work in. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, that could be our members in the fall. We asked them all around the state what they think we should be working on. And the two top priorities that came up this year were redistricting reform and environmental protection. There were over 13 bills that would have, at various ways, tried to address the process for redistricting in Maryland. Not a one of them even got a vote.
Whoa. I am so surprised at this. You're telling me that elected officials were not willing to give up their fiefdoms through a process?
Isn't that surprising? Now,
Oh my
one of
gosh.
the one bill that we were pushing the hardest would simply be a task force that would look at how it's done in other states and see what we could do to improve the process here.
California has a neutral
They have a
arbiter, right, in
commission,
this
and there was a
commission,
bill
right.
that would have
Many
set up.
states
There were
Yeah.
13 bills. They tried everything from just tweaking it around the edges to actually setting up a task force
Right.
to just doing a little
Sure.
bit of here and there. So, but we're not going to give up. One of the things that we did is we held a contest for political cartoon artists, and we
Okay.
have the winners, which we will be announcing shortly after the General Assembly
And
ends.
people can see the announcement either by calling in or by, I guess they can look at the website too. What's that website if they
It's
want?
lwvmd.org. Yes,
Okay.
we will have the winning cartoons on our website, and we will try and make a big splash in the
Making
press.
fun of the legislators, I hope.
Then we're going to follow that up with, this spring we plan to do a relay along the 3rd Congressional District. It'll take 3 days because it's a big, windy
wait.
I was
district.
gonna say,
Well, there's-
where is that district
There's
exactly?
a lot of swimming that has to go on with that
There will
one as well.
there will be boats involved, we think.
Okay. Well,
So at any rate, we want to keep the issue before the public because
Okay.
the public definitely wants to do something about it. Some legislators want to do something about it, and certainly the League of Women Voters does.
What about at the polls? Can we do a referendum on that? Is there a possibility of that?
The way it works in Maryland, you can only take something to the polls that has already been passed by the General Assembly that you don't like. And that's the problem. In most states where they have had redistricting reform, it's because it got put on the ballot by the people. And let me tell you about our other
No, I was
priorities.
going to say.
I was gonna say, I want to hear about the
No, I was
environmental
going to
issues.
say. You haven't been successful with the redistricting, but certainly everyone agrees on the environment.
Well, we are part of the Maryland Climate Coalition, and we had a campaign called Cleaner Power, Brighter Maryland this year. We had 3 bills that we were supporting. One would have, it's a little bit complicated, but we have a renewable portfolio standard in Maryland that requires utilities to sell a certain amount of clean energy.
Okay.
There was a loophole when that was set up several years ago, and utilities have what are called renewable energy credits that they use to buy this clean energy. Well, one of the kinds of energy they're buying is waste from paper and pulp mills, which
Okay.
isn't exactly clean. A lot of money is going to those paper and pulp mills. There used to be a number of them in Maryland. Now there's only one left in Maryland. So most of this money that's coming out of our utility bills is going to Pennsylvania paper and pulp mills. We tried to get that taken out. It didn't happen.
Okay.
The other thing we were looking at is just increasing the renewable portfolio standard. Right now
Okay.
we're aiming towards 20% clean energy. We think it should go towards 40%.
So is there anything we should be looking forward to as we look ahead to the elections or look ahead to the end of the General Assembly session in terms of the environment? Any, things that we can weigh in on at this
we
point?
would touch a little bit on the what some people call the rain tax, but we call the tax on dirty polluted runoff that's infecting our bay. That was a tax that was put in to pay for cleaning up the bay as part of the mandate of the Clean Water Act that all the jurisdictions are required to do. There was a lot of interest in repealing that. The good news was that did not happen.
One of the problems, don't forget, one of the problems that you guys ran into, and I sat in some of those committee hearings, the lobbyists for the energy corporations are never going to let you pass any of that legislation as long as the millions of dollars that they pour into the legislation continues to get the same people elected by the gerrymandered districts that you haven't gotten changed. That's the problem, and it will continue to be the problem.
Answer that.
There
Nancy.
is a problem. There's another solution that we worked on, which of course went nowhere, and that's public campaign financing, so that the public officials don't have to be beholden to the big energy companies.
And
but we
developers.
plan to work on that some more next year, because actually this time, for the first time, some of the candidates for the gubernatorial race are using public campaign finance.
Okay.
So, but that means that fund will be depleted. So we need to work on
Unfortunately, they're
getting
using those campaign funds to go to strange parties.
Anyway, so we need to work on getting that reestablished and broaden public campaign finance at the state
You've been
level.
at this and trying to fight for good government for many years, as long as I've known you. Optimistic, pessimistic, what keeps you going?
Sometimes some good things do happen. Last year there was a package of election reform bills that went through that included expanding early voting, it expanded early voting hours. It will eventually, people will be able to register at the early voting sites. So some good things does happen.
Are there ways for
Wait,
more-
guys,
oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry,
Sure.
I apologize. We have to end Nancy's segment there. We'll have you back to talk about
And
more.
go to our website, lwvmd.org, and you can see everything we testified on.
Okay, thanks a lot, Nancy.
I could talk
Brian,
about that all day.
you've been watching, you've been listening to this. These are some issues that Moco
cover all the
Vox and
The Sentinel.
cover. The Sentinel.
What we did was, Moco Vox is a part of the Sentinel in so much as we're trying to curate information that's out there on the internet.
Whoa. What is curate?
Gathering, winnowing it down, editing, and putting the proper information that's out there, not in a blog setting, but in a news setting, so that you know that when you go to the Sentinel's website, most importantly, or Moco Vox, that what you're seeing is pertinent information and factual. So you're never going to see anything, especially on the Sentinel. We're a little looser on Moco Vox because it's more about entertainment. It's more about letting people in the community have their say. But we're very, very disciplined in vetting information so that you don't pop on the Sentinel's website and see, man never landed on the moon or anything.
So
like that.
So you've got this information overload that we're dealing with. You're helping to curate that to winnow out the kind of nonsense so that it's appropriate. It's something we're interested in. What's that website again?
MocoVox.com.
Okay, what's Mocovox?
MOCOVOX, the voice of Montgomery County.
Okay.
You will even see you on there on occasion. Anything that's on YouTube that's that you
That's
guys
curated?
put up. It's yeah.
Curate right out.
Well, we vet it.
So what criteria do you use to decide what's important to put up there?
Well, journalistic criteria, and that is what's sorely lacking in today's world. I mean, anybody can put anything up on the internet. The way a journalist is going to remain, I say, is going to remain relevant is being a disinterested third-party observer. And so I'm not going to, my opinion, you'll know it. It's labeled an opinion. If you read an editorial in the Sentinel, it says editorial.
Right.
But if we pretend it's fact, we're not pretending. It's fact. The appearance versus reality. You decide what the facts mean to you.
I mean, double checking stories as well.
We do
facts,
all the time.
Terrible thing.
I know.
I
Well,
heard that used to be done.
It is, and we won the Montgomery County Sentinel. I'll tell you this: Newspaper of the Year from the Maryland-Delaware District of Columbia Press Association. So we beat out all our bigger
Wow.
brothers and sisters.
Congratulations.
Kicking
Who
butt,
were your
taking names.
competitors? I mean,
Well,
like
there are
all-
30 different newspapers our size in the state, and we
Okay.
beat out those 30 competitors.
size in terms of circulation budget.
Circulation, budget, size. We compete. Now, there's an overall. You also compete against your larger brethren, and we won for the first time last year. Won against the Post and others with an article that we did. So and a photo. So hey, we did all right. And so we're trying to funnel that into what we're doing April 30th. the Montgomery County Sentinel is sponsoring, I'll be moderating a candidate debate that will be live streamed on our website so you can see it live.
And which candidates?
Yeah, which
And
can,
it's going to be the Montgomery County Executive Democratic candidates. It's
Okay.
the Democratic primary
Great.
debate.
Okay.
So our hope is the Sentinel's hope is to get you to watch us, of course,
Right.
and read us, of course, because we are the newspaper of the year. And so it's all an effort to get people together in a virtual community. Montgomery County is a very diverse place, but it's very important for people, and there's a lot of transients, as you know, who come through here, professional. I don't want to say transient, but professional transients.
Transient's good.
But they come through here, and we need to have a sense of community, and that's what the Sentinel's goal is to build. We're 160 years old, so we've been around for a while, trying to build a
Sure.
community for a while, and that's the goal.
Where do you see the best opportunity for the Sentinel as you look ahead the next year or two?
The best opportunity for any newspaper, and especially a community newspaper, is to be that disinterested third-party observer that professionally vets information and gives you reliable information. And that is sorely lacking. There is, you go to social media, we're on social, you cannot exist today unless I'm on Pinterest or Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter. But the problem is people who put that stuff up there, politicians do it, God bless them, they're actually communicating with their constituency much better than they ever did.
Absolutely.
But everything that they put up, of course, has a slant.
It's all self-interested.
It's very, and we're not that. That's not us. If you want to go and find someone's interest, God bless you, go. If you want to find out factual information, come see us because we're going to give it to you.
Well, I'm going to start following you on Twitter, and I hope you follow Mikhail
I'll be
too.
happy to, and I want to promote you and promote you and promote
Follow
you,
us.
and that's
Yeah.
what we're all about. It's
Well,
a
you're going to have a
community.
very special opportunity to promote them in the second half.
There you go.
There you go. But
How do
I'm
you
sorry.
set yourself apart from the patch? I mean, that's a community online.
Well, we're better.
Well, because you won the award.
First of all, we do it right. Secondly, the patch is, they are part of AOL.
Right.
And we're actually we don't just give a reporter a computer and say sit in your apartment and collate news releases, which is a lot of what the patch does.
We've got about 30 seconds left in this.
We're involved in the community. We've been here for 160 years, and we know our community better than anybody. And we'll kick butt and take names.
As you look ahead, what are you most excited about? Just a couple seconds. Looking ahead at the debate coming up, what do you?
Oh,
what do you want?
I'm excited because I think we have 3 very qualified candidates on the Democratic side for county executive, and there are things that set them apart,
Okay.
and our debate is going to show those differences.
And you have to see the debate to understand that, right?
That's
Exactly.
right.
All right.
Tune in.
We'll be right back
Tune
after
in,
these
we'll kick butt.
messages.
Oh, it's going to be a fun.
And we're back. Ari Brooks, one of my favorite guests on this show. I love it when you're here because we talk about one of my favorite subjects, books and libraries.
Yes.
Who can be against books and libraries?
I don't know anyone who is.
I do.
What are we talking about here?
Well, we have some great news. Speaking of the Bethesda magazine, our Rockville used bookstore won in the category of best used bookstore in their best of
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Great.
in their best of issue in November.
Good.
So that was really exciting.
Yes.
And they're having a big best of bash that we'll be attending.
And we're all being invited, everybody viewing into this program. We're all invited as your guests to come down to the Best of
We
Bash.
can talk about that offline.
That's great news. So
yeah,
so
that was
these-
pretty exciting.
So you've got the bookstores,
Yes.
and people are going in. People love books.
People
Kindles,
still love
Kindles do
books.
great, and the other things do fine.
Yeah.
But that feel of a book is so important.
Yeah. But we're also selling Kindles.
Okay.
We're selling e-devices, and we accept donations of e-devices. We just ask people to return the device to its factory settings. But a lot of people don't know if they want to invest in a new e-device yet, and so we will sell it to them at a fraction of the cost so they can try it out.
Okay.
Or they want to buy them for their kids, but they don't want to,
Great.
yeah.
Do you sell them at all of you have 3 stores, right? Do you
Right.
sell them at all of your stores?
So far, we have been selling them at the Rockville store. We don't track our inventory. That's one of the beauties of the bookstores is everything's fresh, and
Yep.
it's even fresh to
And
us.
you've
but
got a phone number. People want to learn more about it.
sure, our phone number is 240-777-0020, and those are administrative executive offices, and people can call with questions about how to donate books or how to access our 3 used bookstores. And then we also won the Best Used Bookstore last year for the City Paper of Washington, D.C.
Wow, cool.
So
You're on
yeah,
a roll.
I know they were both big surprises, but there are not really many used bookstores left anymore either. But we are still standing, and people really love the variety that they find in the bookstores. And one of the reasons we won for Best Used Bookstore of the City Paper is because you can find actually new titles and those
great.
rare, interesting things that you can't find anywhere else. So there's a good balance there.
And so if I come buy a book at one of your stores, the money's going back to
Montgomery County Public
libraries.
Libraries.
So it's a great way to get something for yourself and support our great library system.
Exactly.
Now, another way to support, I understand, you've got a spelling bee coming up, and you've come. I think these are from McHale.
Yes.
To show
We're all
the
in,
great
baby.
love here. Multiple
We're all
spelling
in.
bees.
Oh, I feel it.
Don't be left out.
Tell us, John Belushi. I don't know which one is John Belushi here, but tell us about
do the
what the
eyebrow.
spelling bee is. All of this program's all about.
Sure.
So,
This is our fourth our fourth spelling bee. We do it biannually, twice a year, and it's a senior spelling bee. So it's called the Seasoned Spellers Spelling Bee. And so we invite older adults, and in Montgomery County that is defined as people 55 years or above, to come
I'm
and
so happy that I am not eligible for that. So good about that. So good.
Oh,
I'm so
Do you want us
thankful.
to respond to that, Tom?
Yeah.
Well, then we'll get back to
I'm
Ari.
sorry.
You can respond to that. And it's really a celebration of words. It all came about when we were talking about how to reach the senior community and how to connect them with library resources. It's apparently one of the largest growing populations in the county is older adults. And we wanted to make sure that we were reaching older adults about how they can access library services. And we started talking about how no one can spell anymore except for older people, people who didn't grow up on
No,
people who
kids-
didn't grow up
kids-
on
I
spell
agree.
check.
Right.
It's just the way
Spell
you
check
said
and
it.
texting, right? Yeah.
Right. I
Hey,
didn't
you're an old
say
fart, you
old
can
folk.
spell.
I didn't say old fart. Older adults. And so we thought it would just be a really fun way to celebrate words and
Good.
celebrate that knowledge base. And it's so much fun. They take it very seriously. And we do offer a grand prize, and this will be our fourth one.
The antennae?
The whole set, the gift set,
gift set.
of glasses.
That's a grand prize.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
telling you.
It's a lot of fun. It is, and they bring their kids and their grandkids, and they have rooting sections, and it's really intense. And it's all about how to connect the residents of Montgomery County, regardless of your background or your age, with the very important resources of
So
libraries.
your paper will cover that, right?
You better believe it. You better invite me. We'll even shoot video and put it on our website.
I will send you a press release. So,
That would be great.
Yeah.
This is
I tell you what you said though. I know
about
it's
15 seconds.
real quick. I agree with you 100%. Everyone I interview under 22 comes to work for me can't spell.
No.
I know I can't. I want to circle really quickly back
Real quick,
to the
we have 5 seconds.
Gaithersburg bookstore. We did have 3 used bookstores, and our Gaithersburg location will be closing on in next week
Oh.
because of renovations to the mall. But we still have the other 2
Okay.
standing.
Okay.
So
Ari, thank you so much.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to having you back and making me feel good about books.
thank you.
Great, thanks. Spelling bee number 2. How are you?
I'm great, Don.
Nice
Glad
to
to
have
be
you
here.
back.
Thank you.
McHale, I still think of, Quentin McHale, whatever, from McHale's Navy.
Montgomery Coalition for Adult English Literacy. Maybe our charge is to come up with a shorter name. I don't know.
No, McHale, what a great organization. You've
Thank
got
you.
so many partners throughout the county. Maybe you can explain for our viewers real quick, maybe
Sure.
just 20 seconds, what McHale does.
We are a community coalition of 60 programs, over 500 instructors that teach over 22,000 adults English every year. So
And the lines are still there for people who
lines
want
are
to
still
learn English, right?
it's still there, and it's interesting. Do you know where the fastest growing need in the county is for English classes?
They're French speakers
In,
from Africa.
What do you mean geographically?
geographic
Geographically, oh.
area, yeah.
Southern, right?
Bethesda.
Not Bethesda, although that was a
Kensington.
quick guess.
Wheaton.
Actually, Gaithersburg and Wheaton is where
Okay.
we're finding, probably not surprising to
Right.
many of us who work in the county. And so we're doing a lot of work with our partners in the coalition, including Montgomery College, the Literacy Council of Montgomery County, Spanish Catholic Charities, and
Okay.
some others, the Gilchrist Center, of course, to really focus on those areas and identify how we can better serve more people in those areas. Some of it comes down to just finding space that's affordable, accessible, appropriate for adults, and some of it's finding more qualified instructors. So we're constantly
that is
doing
not
that.
only important, but boy, let me tell you what, dispel a rumor, because I get it from police, I hear it from fire department officials, I hear it from elected officials, that some of the immigrant community in Montgomery County they don't care about English. They want to, and I find that's not true.
I think that's an easy rumor to dispel. Communication is basic. You want to be able to communicate, and most people do want to be able to learn English. They want to be able.
But one
to
second,
do these things.
There's a website that you have, which I think probably has some of the facts about the spelling.
Absolutely.
myths, right?
McCael.org, MCAEL.org,
Okay.
and on there you will find a whole host of data points, and we're happy to discuss that too. But I think
So
that's
in
right.
addition to teaching people English for whom English is not a first language,
Right.
do you also do adult literacy with people that just have problems with reading and
Of
writing?
course, and really the Literacy Council of Montgomery County is one of our strongest partners in the coalition. That's one of the focus areas of some of their programs for native speakers who, for whatever reason, literacy has been a challenge.
Your partners are teaching people to both speak and read and write
Correct,
English. Okay.
yes.
I just want to say that one of the many resources you can find in libraries are conversation clubs
Right.
for adults. And if
Absolutely.
you drive up to the Gaithersburg Library during the lunch hour, maybe not now because they just reopened, but you could see the landscaping trucks lined up. Out. This is how you can help
You're
to spell
preaching
it.
to the choir.
Right, but you see the landscaping trucks lined up outside the library with the workers inside on their lunch break,
Having
learning.
participating
The
in
biggest thing
Right.
I find, and maybe you can
that's
speak to that,
motivation,
that
yeah.
people are motivated to. Sometimes they don't know how to, and sometimes I find that there's a fear, an initial.
Sure, there's a discomfort, and,
Yeah.
and that's why we have many different types of programs among our 60 programs, so people can enter at a trust point where they feel comfortable and then move on up through the system to the Literacy Council, to Montgomery College, maybe go to Montgomery College for further credentialing or workforce training. And so a lot of our focus has to do with workforce training and things like that.
You know, and it's so key, because one of the biggest, I don't want to say misnomers, but mistakes that I get when I speak to people, and when they want to gripe, is that nobody they want to keep their own language. Like, we all came here as immigrants. That's baloney.
And
I think it's baloney.
There's a point to retaining your culture, but I would say
We got to get onto the spelling bee.
yeah, I want to talk about the spelling bee,
Let's do
John,
it.
because I brought my
About a minute left.
glasses to
Right.
wear.
Those are beautiful. Can we all? Can you guys put your things back on as you did for Ari? Now let's do it for the McHale one.
So
too.
Michaela's
There you
doing
go.
our first annual Grown Up Spelling Bee for Literacy,
Okay.
and this is a celebration of the work that our coalition does, and an opportunity to engage the public just on issues we've been discussing about what the needs are regarding literacy and how important it is. So we have
You can wear mine.
followed a model that's used across the country to bring some of our business and corporate partners together who are helping sponsor the event. They're going to enter teams of 3, and we're going to have a spelling bee. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to put people kind of in that situation of being a little bit uncomfortable with, oh my gosh, how do I do this? But I think it's going to be a great, fun event in support of literacy in Montgomery
And you
County.
can then
have a
have all
team.
stars.
Yes,
With the,
we
who
have
go to
we have a
seniors.
team from
Oh, right.
Friends of the Library.
Because we're the only people who can spell.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We have other teams. Esther Newman is sponsoring a team from Leadership Montgomery,
Okay.
Adventist Healthcare,
So we'll be
Holy
Montgomery
Cross,
Weekend Review team.
some
There
other
you
folks.
go. Good,
Exactly.
good.
So April 9th, information about buying tickets can be found on our website.
And where will it be?
It's at the Tacoma Park campus of Montgomery College in their
Okay.
Cultural Arts Center.
That's a great place.
We'll be
Great
there.
venue, yes. Good.
Are we making progress? We have 15 seconds. Making progress on adult
We
English
are.
literacy?
We are. We're tracking indicators for individual student success, and we're seeing more programs that we are, thanks to the county's great support and us opening more class sites.
Oh, that's what an invigorating show. With the exception of the depression in Annapolis, this has been a great show. I want to thank the
I'll
four of
cheer
you for
myself
joining
up.
me.
There we go.
I want to thank all of you in the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Moores. Please join us next week at this very same time.